You think you're buying THX-certified premium audio, cinematic immersion, and desk-shaking bass with the Razer Nommo Pro. But here's what surprised me after testing them for months. These might be the most frustrating high-end gaming speakers I've ever used. For the best price, click the link in the description. Why? Because at $299.99, the expectation is perfection. You see that 4.1-star rating on Amazon and the specs promise an audio masterpiece. THX certification, Dolby Virtual Surround, a dedicated subwoofer, Kevlar-coated drivers. It sounds like a recipe for sonic bliss, but the reality is a series of compromises and quirks that could drive a sane person to just use headphones. Therefore, let's dive deep into why you might want to reconsider before hitting that buy button. We'll look at the sound, the features, the day-to-day usability, and the problems that aren't obvious from the product page. First, the setup. It feels premium. You get a control pod, 2 satellite speakers, and a hefty subwoofer. Connecting them is versatile, as promised. USB, Bluetooth, optical, or 3.5. But this is where the first joke comes in. Setting up the Nommo Pro is like assembling a high-tech puzzle where the final piece is a frustration. The control pod is cool, LED illuminated, giving you volume and mute at your fingertips. However, the pod only works when connected via USB. If you use Bluetooth or optical, it becomes a decorative paperweight. Therefore, one of its key features is instantly conditional. Now, let's talk about the THX certified premium audio promise. The silk-woven 20mm tweeters do deliver smooth highs. The 3-inch Kevlar drivers provide a tight, clear mid-range. The sound is detailed and clean, especially for games and movies. But the Dolby Virtual Surround sound technology, it's virtual, as in, virtually indistinguishable from regular stereo in many scenarios. For true surround immersion, you'd need actual rear speakers. This is a simulation, and it can feel hollow, like watching a 3D movie without the glasses. Therefore, the cinematic immersion claim is a bit of an overstatement. What about the desk-shaking, room-thumping bass from the downward-firing subwoofer? It's solid, it's powerful, it can definitely shake things. But here's the twist. It's also incredibly finicky. The subwoofer has its own volume knob on the back, separate from the main control pod. So you have to constantly tweak 2 different volumes to get a balanced sound. Too much bass and it drowns out the mids, too little and you lose the thump. It's like having a separate remote for your TV's brightness. Who wants that? Let's rehook. If balancing your sound is a chore, what about just using them for music? The connectivity options should make that easy. But Bluetooth 4.2 is outdated. It's not Bluetooth 5.0, so the range and stability can be lacking. Pairing can be stubborn. And the joke here is, the Nommo Pro's Bluetooth is like a reluctant teenager. It only works when it feels like it. Therefore, for a premium 2023 product, this is an odd corner to cut. Now, the day-to-day usability. The control pod is sleek, but it has no other controls. No bass adjustment, no surround mode toggle, no input selection. Those functions are buried in software or on the physical hardware. So for quick adjustments, you're often diving into the Razer software app or crawling behind your desk to fiddle with the sub. This breaks the flow. Imagine wanting less bass during a late-night movie and having to pause everything to adjust. It's not control at your fingertips, it's control under your desk. Therefore, the convenience factor takes a major hit. Speaking of software, the Razer Synapse app is required for some features. But it's a notoriously bloated piece of software that many Razer users complain about. It needs to run in the background. So you're trading system resources for speaker control. That's a problem if you're a minimalist or just dislike extra software. Let's talk about the top reviews from Amazon. Many praise the sound quality and the bass, but several of the negative ones highlight exactly these issues. Finicky controls, software dependency, and Bluetooth problems. One reviewer called them fantastic speakers with frustrating flaws. That's the perfect summary. Therefore, the 4.1-star rating is a blend of awe for the audio and annoyance at the experience. Now for another joke. Using the Nommo Pro is like dating a supermodel who can't cook. Everything looks amazing on the surface, but the daily living situation is surprisingly complicated. What about the physical design? The speakers look fantastic, classic Razer aesthetic, but they are large. They will dominate your desk space. The subwoofer is especially bulky, so if you have a small desk or a minimalist setup, these will feel imposing. Therefore, they're not for everyone in terms of form, not just function. Let's rehook. If the sound is good but the experience is flawed, is it worth $299.99? That's a serious price for a gaming speaker setup. But when you compare it to a high-end 2.1 system from audio specialists like Audio Engine or even a good soundbar, the value proposition gets murky. The Nommo Pro is gaming branded, with gaming-oriented marketing. Therefore, you're paying partly for the Razer logo and the gaming aesthetic. The pure audio performance, while good, might be matched by less flashy, more user-friendly options at a similar price. Now the biggest problem that isn't on the spec sheet: consistency. Sometimes they work flawlessly and sound incredible, but other times you'll get a random Bluetooth dropout, or the software will forget your settings, or the bass will seem off. It's an unreliable luxury, and for a product that asks for premium trust, that's a critical flaw. Therefore, the Pro moniker feels a bit unearned. Pro should mean professional, reliable, rock solid. This feels more like a premium with quirks. Let's inject the final joke. The Razer Nommo Pro is the audio equivalent of a sports car that needs a special fuel only available on Tuesday. It's thrilling when it works, but you're always planning around its needs. So what's the resolution? Should you buy them? If you are a Razer loyalist with a huge desk, who loves tinkering with settings and will mostly use USB, and you crave that specific Razer design, they might be for you. The sound, when tuned correctly, is genuinely impressive. But if you want simplicity, reliable Bluetooth, seamless control, and a set-up-and-go experience, look elsewhere. There are more consistent, less fussy options out there. Therefore, my honest review leans towards caution. Don't buy the Razer Nommo Pro if you value effortless usability as much as raw audio power. The problems outweigh the performance for many users. For the best price and to check current ratings yourself, click the link in the description. Make an informed decision. Thank you for watching this honest review.